Hey folks, Ted here today with Exped and the Exped MegaMat, and we're going to walk you through inflation, deflation, and some storage tips so you know how this thing works. MegaMat is supremely comfortable. It's a classic example of Swiss design, constant tinkering to perfection, and the first thing for the MegaMat is the new Sidewinder stuff sack. It allows me to go ahead and pull the whole mat out of the side, like so. Mat comes with a mat, a Sidewinder stuff sack, a mini pump, and there's a repair kit in the stash pocket on the side. I'm going to put those off to the side. When I go to actually inflating the mat, the best way to do that is to open it up. See the two flat valves, inflate and deflate. I'm going to go ahead and open up the inflate valve, and I'm going to just take the mat and unroll it off to the side. And now I'm just going to let it sit here for about 15 minutes or so. I'm going to go set up the rest of camp, and I'll come back and top it off in just a minute. See you then. Well, camp's all set up, and it's been about 10, 11-ish minutes or so, and as you can see, the open cell foam that's on the inside of here, the memory foam if you will, has regained some of its memory and drawn air into the inside of the mat. And depending upon your conditions, it'll draw in a little bit faster, a little bit slower, depending upon the way you stored it, the way that you had it contained on the way up in the trip. In any case, at this particular point, it's not quite firm enough for me to want to sleep on it without topping it off, and that's why I have the mini pump. And here's what we're going to do. We're just going to take the mini pump, put it on the inflate valve like so, just lock that right on. Going to hold on to the mini pump, and I'm just going to go ahead and top it off. And you can see that just kind of finishes off the last little bit. It's pretty easy. By the way, when it comes to storing the mat, I recommend going ahead and leaving the mat fully inflated. Open up the valves and sliding it underneath the bed or standing it up behind the door in a closet or something like that. And that'll get you set up for your next trip and it'll inflate even faster in that case. So at this point, we are topped off. Pull the mini pump off, close the flat valve, and we're set to go. Good night's sleep. By the way, in the middle of the night, if you want to soften this, I like to inflate it firm at first, but if you want to soften it so you have a little bit more contour, you can open up the inflate valve and just go ahead and push in the green flapper on the inside right here, and that'll just burp the air right on out of the mat. Now that I've done that, I have to go ahead and re-inflate that just a little bit more. Put the air back in there because I like it to be nice and firm. Pop that off, lock it down, and we are set to go for a good night. Now, after everything's all set up and put away, I have to break camp at some point, and that means deflating the mat. So I'm going to go ahead and reverse this process so you can see how that's done. Inflate valve, deflate valve. The first thing you do is open up the deflate valve, and you can hear the air go rushing right on out of the mat that way. My preference is not to wrestle the mat, and a MegaMat holds a lot of air, and to get it out fast and efficient, I take the mat, fold it over 3 times, and then just use body weight to squeeze all of the air out of the mat. I could go ahead and wrestle it if I wanted to, but no reason to be in a hurry in this process. Just let your body weight push the air out of the mat. When it stops bleeding air out of it, then you go ahead, open it up, and then just start rolling. And I always like to use my knee in the middle of it. Just wrap it up. By the way, I forgot to mention in the inflation process that when you're using the mini pump, this guy right here, you can use the palm of your hand to inflate it up, or you can also use your foot. Either way works really easy. Squeeze the last little bit of air out of the mat. go ahead and close the deflate valve, lock that on. Take the Sidewinder stuff sack, and then just drop this in. The beauty of the Sidewinder stuff sack is that if I was really sloppy about the rolling process, I had a lot of extra roll in that, it loads in here really nice and easily. Take the mini pump, shove it in the side pocket. Just take the Sidewinder stuff sack, roll it down, and lock off the strap so I have a nice shoulder strap. We're all set to go. We'll see you out on the next trip.